Well, this is a beautiful morning, and you're very welcome to Bealtaine Cottage. Myself and Jack have just stepped out, and I had a very strong feeling this morning that I just had to let things go. And I'll explain a little bit about that shortly. But just for the few minutes now that's in it, I just want to let you see how beautiful it really is here this morning. The sky is very blue. Oh, don't look at the barge board on the side of the cottage that needs painting, or the roof that needs replacing, or any such trivial matters as that. So very trivial compared with the overall scene that is this morning here on this beautiful earth. Oh, look at this. Some flowers still blooming. I think is that a form of campanula? I think it could be. And there's a wheelbarrow load of cuttings that I've brought up from the bog garden. I shall shred those in the shredder, and they will be used on the compost toilet. In fact, I'll just show you the shredder. Many of you get quite intrigued and want to know some of the finer detail of my simple life here. So the shredder is here. It's a little electric shredder. You can see all the stuff there then that's used in the compost loo, which is brilliant, very sweet smelling. And there's some evergreens that are going to go through the shredder. And there's a big wheelbarrow load waiting for the shredder. I think from the look of the nasturtiums here that the first frost has happened, because they're just starting to wilt a little bit. A little bit of wilting going on. And then also, before we move round the front, let me take you up to the stone circle, because that beautiful oak tree that I planted in the middle of the stone circle is now the most incredible shades of red. The leaves have turned this beautiful red, and of course that particular oak tree is commonly known as the red oak, I think for the same reason. Look at all these lovely leaves. Now, I made a video yesterday, which I was very pleased with actually, but because I just do the long shoot, I rarely do editing. In fact, I don't actually edit my videos. I may put them together, put a series of videos together, but I don't edit. I don't go cutting them or changing them. But yesterday's video was a lot of background noise, and it was from a digger. A big digger was working down the road there on a neighbouring property, and it was just digging out lots and lots of earth for some reason. I don't know. I think my neighbours may be building a garage or something. But anyway, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Oh, birds flying around. I had some cooked potato which I put out this morning for them, And there was a whole flock of visiting birds. There was crows and magpies and blackbirds and little birds, lots of little ones as well, all sharing the feast. Just walk up here. Of course, the stone circle now, since I took down the willow arches, it's getting a lot more light, which is for the benefit of this beautiful little oak that I planted in the middle. Isn't that beautiful? It's lovely red leaves. So now we know why it's called the red oak. And the leaves are huge as well. And of course it's put on some spectacular growth over the past few months. In fact, this year it's doubled in size. I planted this into the middle of the stone circle last year, I think it was. I know it'll be on the videos. But it has actually doubled in size. So delightful to see this. The ferns are dying back. And there's the beautiful skeletal heads of the wild angelica. And that looks like a little cave in there amidst the trees and the ivy. And then looking over this way, oh look, and there's the waning moon up there. You see it? It's a beautiful Samhain morning. And Samhain, of course, is the month of November. It's the old Irish. There's a little bird following me around there. And I hear a bee. Oh, a little drone, I think. There's a little drone bee flitting about. So, yeah, letting things go. This week I heard some quite disturbing news. Disturbing for me because I sort of expected it, and I expect more of it as well. But I always hope, of course, that it doesn't happen. But, you know, I'm here living with Mother Earth. I have a pretty good intuitive reasoning about what's coming next, what's coming down the line. So this news concerns Denmark. Denmark has a very thriving, though that's not a word I would use, but anyway, I suppose in economic terms, it's referred to as thriving. A thriving fur industry, in particular mink, and the mink farms are scattered across Denmark from what I can tell, and there's something like about 7 million mink, which are basically wild animals, but they're kept in these factory farms and grown for their fur. And it's not a very pleasant industry. Isn't it amazing, by the way, how all kinds of work are now referred to as industries? We talk about the tourist industry, and the holiday industry. That's kind of befuddled me. I wouldn't refer to anything as an industry unless it was producing industrial type wear, you know. But anyway, yeah. So what's happened in these mink farms? Again, I wouldn't call them farms. It's not my idea of a farm. But what's happened is that the coronavirus has got into the mink and it has mutated. Well, quelle surprise. I'm not surprised at all. Of course this nonsense was going to happen with these factory farms. We expect to have disease and despair from them. So it's got into the mink, and the coronavirus has mutated in the mink, and it's now come out of the mink and into the human population. And I think there's been, thus far, it's a small number. There's about 20 or 30 so cases of this new variation of the disease has got into the human population. But the Danish government realised it's such a dangerous situation that they've decided to issue the order for a cull, a complete cull. Of course, we know what cull means, don't we? It means a kill. So they're going to kill the entire population of mink in Denmark. So, of course I was upset about it. I'm upset about factory farms, I'm upset about human unkind. I will no longer call them humankind because kindness does not prevail in the human race. It's notoriously levered onto the side of human unkind. So that's what I shall refer to them as. So human unkind has now been reinfected with the virus, which they themselves introduced through the abominable treatment of animals. That's where it's coming from. And no, I don't want to hear all the conspiracy nonsense about, it was created in a lab in Wuhan. You know, it's about time we stopped passing the buck, passing the blame. The blame lies fairly and squarely with us. If we treat animals in such an appalling way, then we must expect to reap what comes after that. Which, of course, nothing to do with rewards. It's to do with you do this, and this is what happens. So, and you know, we're all to blame in one way or another. Because in one way or another, everyone buys into it. You cannot possibly not be part of it. You can consciously not be part of it. You can begin to sort of create a fight back against it and adopt integrity and, you know, morals and, you know, those basic morals, right and wrong. We all know what's right, we all know what's wrong. Factory farming is wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. It's not right on any level. But, so there I was, you know, feeling quite angry about this. When I suddenly caught myself on. I just copped myself on and I thought, But you can't change any of this. You singly cannot change it. You can decide, of course, that you're not going to consciously buy into it, which I consciously don't. But I suppose what I'm saying is that, all this is coming down the line. And we choose to forget, don't we, that what we're eating is from a factory farm, or what we're doing is inherently bad for Mother Earth, and so on and so forth. I think that that's part of the human dilemma. But I shall certainly never refer to humankind, because most definitely it's the human unkind. So that was a little bit of a rant, I suppose, in reasonably quiet terms. There's no point in shouting. So it's been a very interesting week, dominated of course by politics, which I have nothing to do with, and I don't subscribe to politics because I've yet to meet a politician that I found to be half decent, really. I think it takes a certain type of mind to enter into politics, or to enter into religion, or anything which deigns to control people, or to tell people what to do or what to think. So this week, to get away from it all, I've been working down here, and you can see, well, I hope you can see some of the results. So there we have the stream. It's now running. You can see the pond up there towards the left of the stream is slowly being filled in. Been cutting back a lot of the willow. So the willow would be part of the pioneer species for creating a woodland. And of course, I write about this in my book, A Cottage in 3 Acres, if you want to know more about that. Or if you don't want to buy the book, you can simply Google willow, Bealtaine Cottage. In fact, you can take any keywords followed by Bealtaine Cottage, and you will find a great deal of information, all for free, and more importantly, without any advertising. I do not allow advertising on my website. I pay a good deal of money each year in order to not have advertising on my website. So all the information is there for free, with no advertising. If you want to support the Bealtaine project and buy one of the books or the calendar, then thank you very much. But it's not necessary, you don't have to. So, clearing. Yes, I've been clearing quite a lot of the willow. Here it is now, sort of layered up in the pond. A lot of that now will begin to die down and take its own place in the pond, and sort of push all the water to the other side where the stream is. And then a lot of the willow and the dogwood will root there and grow. So this will become a very interesting area to watch, to see how it develops over the next year or two. It's very much how nature does things, So I'm going to be replacing a lot of the willow with trees like this, which of course is a sycamore, and that's more of a hardwood. And the beech down there, that's a hardwood. So I'm going to be doing quite a lot of planting now over the next few weeks on the run up to midwinter, which is Yule. So you can see this area here. I've cut back a lot of the willow in order to let this hazel grow. That's forming a beautiful little copse there with all the various stems. And also this is one of the beautiful Kilronan cedars, western red cedars, that I've grown from seed. So I crowned that yesterday. You can see the crowning effect on that. And removed all the overhanging branches of willow, which was kind of falling into it. And you can see here all the cutting I've been doing. Just enough to allow this beautiful tree a bit more space and to allow the hazel a bit more space. So it's all about creating space, keeping open the pathways. Like this pathway here now is looking a lot more spacious. And at the same time, getting to grips with filling in this huge area of pond. And I've been cutting back along here as well. Lots more to do. I'm going to plant a few trees in around the side here, now that the space is opened up. And you can see here, now there's a little bit of stagnation there in the flow, so I'll have to get back in today and dig out even more of the silt to allow that flow to keep on going. Because when you're trying to create a stream bed, it's important to keep the flow going. So it does take time. You can see I've blocked off this corner already. See this corner here, look, just here. So it's all about putting in those nice curves, taking out the corners, putting in curves. So there we go. There's a lovely kind of a colourful wintry haze happening now, because you get to see all the beautiful stems of the trees, and when the sun shines on them, of course, it looks fabulous. Now down along here, don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, you might not be able to see them, but there's lots of little hawthorns growing along this path. And then there's some shrubs and whatnot down there. So some of the paths want to naturally just fill themselves in with trees. That's fine as well. Let that happen. Oh, here's a cup here. Must have left that here yesterday. So again, I'm getting questions about the birthing pool for the frogs. Well, all I can say is you need to keep up with the videos, because I'm detailing everything as I go along. So here we go. This is the stream coming through what was a silt pond, which is now very much filled itself in. And so there's a lot of little bits of gravel beginning to show themselves, which means that the water is actually pushing the silt out of the stream bed, and there's a lovely natural kind of a gravelly look beginning to happen. Let's just walk up here. Oh, this is gorgeous sunlight, look at this. And look at this, again, these beautiful skeletal remains of wild parsley and wild angelica. Little cobwebs on them. So let's have a little look at the stream bed down here. A little bit gentler today. little bit more of a gentle flow on it. And you can just see down there the gravel beginning to get exposed. So I'll just put my glasses on and see how long this video is. Because of course the longer the video, the longer it takes to upload. Oh, we're at 25 minutes. Okay. So, one long shoot, no editing. This of course is the raw video, which Bealtaine Cottage is rather famous for, with no people on it, no faces. Just, you see what I see. I hope you see what I see. Beautiful Mother Earth on this Saturday morning. Happy, content. Just seen another little bird's nest up there. It's wonderful what's revealed as the trees lose their leaves. So blessings to you all.